best ballpark dogs, and the best baseball talk you can find. So kick back with your bacon and eggs and pour yourself a mimosa while Phillies announcer Gregg Murphy and Green Legion Radio's Chris Sack break down your fighting Phils and take you around the league right now on Baseball Brunch. Play ball!
Good morning, Philadelphia. Welcome in for Bud Light Baseball Brunch, brought to you by Cheerleaders Gentlemen's Club, powered by Green Legion Radio on 102.5 Fox Sports AM in Philadelphia, WDAS AM around the rest of the Delaware Valley, or simply download that iHeartRadio app and you can join us and listen to us anywhere, crystal clear, worldwide. I'm Chris Sack with Green Legion Radio. I'm broadcasting to you live from Xfinity Live in a very sloppy and wet South Philadelphia, right outside of Citizens Bank Park today. Hoping to get in today's final game finale here at Citizens Bank Park between your fighting Philadelphia Phillies and the San Diego Padres. And, all these years that we've been doing this show together, I didn't quite know that I was doing the show with the Wicked Witch of the West or somebody that doesn't know how to invest in an umbrella. Phillies broadcaster Gregg Murphy. Murph, how are we doing this morning?
I am doing just fine. Yeah, I don't think an umbrella is going to cut it in this particular situation. I don't know what your view is right now. I'm sitting here in the Phillies radio booth and looking out in a torrential downpour here at South Philly. So I'm joining you remotely today, and my hair is very thankful for that. So, yeah, good work by everybody able to kind of get this all tied together. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem at all, man. Listen, if anything, I picked the wrong day out of the whole entire season to wear a white T-shirt. I know I've slimmed down a lot over the last few weeks with the Peloton workouts, and I finally had the guts to wear my my new Wet Bandits T-shirt with Marsh and Stotty. I was getting into the car this morning. I was like, I really should try and maybe change over into a red shirt because this is a bad idea. What T-shirt contest today at Xfinity Live?
I don't know what the immediate future holds for baseball here in South Philly. I mean, it does appear that the rain's going to stop later this afternoon. And so perhaps they'll keep us here and we'll play later this afternoon, 4 o'clock or something like that. I mean, I have no inside knowledge at this moment, but I don't see a way that this particular game starts on time today. And that is unfortunate for everyone involved. So.
Partner, the thing is both teams have the day off tomorrow. Yep. Ideally, they want to get the game in today. I'm sure everybody wants to enjoy their day off on Monday, and the Padres don't have to fly out tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow night to head back. I don't know where they're going from here. Maybe they're going home back to San Diego, but that's not where are they going from here. They're
going to Toronto, so it's an easy flight for them. Yeah.
Okay, so it's an easy flight for them. But even then, like we've talked about, like those Sunday games where the Phillies have off on Monday. You would, say, hey, listen, we're flying out today just so we can get a full day off wherever we're going. I think that's ideal what the Padres are looking for on their end of things. And also at the same time, like even though with the new balanced schedule, that they're probably going to be back on the East Coast another time or two by the end of the season. But to fly into Philadelphia, try and fit in the game and then fly back out, they're going to do everything that they can to try and fit this game in today. Yeah,
I would think they probably will. But if they decide that it's just not going to be it's not going to be feasible today, hopefully they make that decision early, send everybody home. The off day happens today. We come back and play baseball tomorrow. So that's kind of the two scenarios. If I had to bet, I would think we'll probably try and play today. But right now, it would not be feasible here at Citizens Bank Park.
Yeah, not with how it looks right now. But this first segment's brought to you by our good friends at State Farm. When you make the right decision, it feels good, like picking the perfect furniture or choosing a good night's sleep over an all-night TV series binge. It feels really good to make the right insurance decision, too. That's why State Farm agent Dave Bavuso is here to help you select the right protection at the right price. Dave will make sure you understand your State Farm coverages so you'll know what to expect if the unexpected happens. With State Farm agent Dave Bavuso, it's easy to make the right choice. Just give him a call when you want the right deal. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. You can reach him at 856-740-5012. That's 856-740-5012. Individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements. Before we jump in and we give some tickets away, first and foremost, I'd like to wish my mom a happy birthday, who will be celebrating her birthday this week. And we'll see you later on today. Mom, love you. You're the best. And I would be remiss if I did not, speak about our family dog who we put to rest this past Thursday. Sebastian Love you to death, buddy. You're going to be great on the other side, but I'm not going to say that you're in a better place, because the best place for you is with us and our family and my sister. Rest in peace, buddy. Love you to death. All right, so let's give away a pair of tickets today. Now, Murph, I went to a concert the other night. It was the first time in 7 years that my childhood band, Card, was back together touring, and takes me back to those rides, man. Like, when you're going to and from school, and you had the CD playing in there. Some people it's a cassette tape. Transistor radios for others. So I wanted to dive down deep, into a little bit of a deep path here, Murph, with you, because, obviously there's a little bit of an age difference, not much, but, I think you're closer to my dad's age than you are mine.
Careful.
But, I kind of want to take you back to the 80s when you're cruising around and probably your Camaro, you got this slick, back hair and all that good stuff going on. What was like your go-to song, like that just like when you hear it on the radio, it always takes you back to a place and time in life, right?
Yeah.
I know you got a top 5 for me, but what's one of the 5 that takes you back to that time in your life?
I got a million for you, to be quite honest with you, but I've narrowed it down to 5. And for the record, no Camaro. The Murphy family did not give cars to the kids. I shared a car with my mom. The first new car I got was when I got married. So for the record, I never had a car until I got married at my own car.
Now what car did you share with your mom? Was it a minivan?
No, it was like a little white Corolla hatchback. I did not have any street cred whatsoever. Bad look. It's amazing. I got to where I've got to because it was bad. I struggled with the coolness factor in high school, so I'm still struggling with that.
Well,
but anyway,
for it then, Murph.
Anyway, all right. So yeah, I do have a bunch. I mean, I love music, and so many songs, bring you back to particular times in your life. So you have to know how old I am, I guess, if you're going to try and pick one on my list. But I'm not going to give any hints out there. However, I'll give you my first one, because the first one that popped into my mind, kind of an obscure song, but every time I hear it, and I do hear it because I listen back to those kinds of stations all the time, In Excess was just kind of like burst onto the scene at that time when I was in high school. So Need You Tonight by In Excess is one of those songs that I just loved. We'd sing it at the top of our lungs in the hatchback Corolla, and me and my buddies. So In Excess, Need You Tonight, one of the songs on my list.
Yeah, I think it's pretty simple for me. I mean, I already alluded to the band for me, and I look back to like my senior year, going into my senior soccer season. We're cruising around, we're playing Madden 2004, and the song, the big hit that put them on the map off of Ocean Avenue album was Way Away. Just a great song. We log on, we play Madden all the time. It was definitely a big time hit for me before and after a soccer game. I get myself hyped up. Way Away for me. Maybe we have it on the board there at iHeartRadio. We could play it as a rejoiner because that's it's definitely slaps. It definitely hits. But make sure you guys go to our social media platforms to check that out. Get yourselves involved, especially on Twitter at Green Legion, or you can go to our Green Legion Facebook Live page, or it's the 102.5 Fox Sports The Gambler / is where we're doing StreamYard today. So make sure you guys go over there and get your answers in for 2 tickets for Phillies Marlins on Saturday, July 9th at 6:05. And the guy that's sitting right next to me, I'll make sure to get his once we start out the second segment. My seat filler today is the Unhappy Gilmore, who's joining us from Ohio. Looking forward to getting some content out of him today. It's going to be a good time. So appreciate you joining me, buddy.
Yeah, happy to be here, brother.
It's going to be a good time. All right, cool. So let's talk some Phillies, and then we're going to talk with you at second segment.
Good deal.
All right, so Murph, since the last time we reconvened, they lost the series out there down there in Miami last Sunday, and then they come out of the gates looking a little sluggish on Friday night until we get into the 9th inning, and the Phillies make it interesting. They force Josh Hader to come in he doesn't get a save for that, but he still had to close the door on the Phillies as they were threatening. Some interesting things that happened throughout the course of that game. But yesterday's doubleheader was huge for the Phillies, especially in the from the standing standpoint, making up a game and a half on the Braves, making up a game and a half on the Marlins, putting the Mets a game and a half further back, which is what dumpster fire that team is with Brett Beatty. Did you see that play yesterday?
Yes.
Dude, unbelievable. I love every bit of it. They are a blooper reel waiting to happen. But the doubleheader yesterday, and listen, I was at the game last night, and I know you covered both games of the doubleheader. You covered all 3 games this weekend. But man, I'll tell you what, the intensity that is ratcheting up right now between the Phillies and the Padres. You can feel it. It's kind of becoming paramount. The hot dogging from Fernando Tatis, with the stutter step into third base. Juan Soto taking 32 seconds to round the bases after his home run the other night to make it 8-1. Some sweet chin music up on Kyle Schwarber yesterday. I was glad that he got that home run, his third at bat, to make them pay for that. Sosa getting hit. Tell me what your feel is from your standpoint in covering the team. Some of the intensity that seems to be existing right now between these two teams that met in last year's NLCS.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't say that I thought about that too much. Honestly, yesterday as I was watching the games here in South Philly, the Padres have a handful of guys on their team that are uber talented, right? And young and brash and all of that. And I think that's just kind of the way they play. And look, I mean, that's baseball now. I don't like it personally, but it doesn't matter if I like it because the guys down on the field, they don't mind. And the guys in the Phillies dugout, and I've asked guys before, does it bother you when Juan Soto takes 32 seconds to round the bases on a home run? Or does it bother you when he does the shuffle, when he takes a pitch inside or turns around and tells the umpire that was high? Does it? And pretty much the answer is, nah, not really. Because on their side, on the Philly side or whomever else is playing in the big leagues, they have a couple of guys on their team that have a similar kind of brashness and a similar kind of way to celebrate big plays. So it's pervasive in the game nowadays, whether it be bat flips or bat spikes or,
I got no problem with either of those two. Like for
I don't
me,
have a problem. Here's the thing. I don't have a problem with any of it because it's not my place to have the problem with it. As long as the guys down there don't care if the other guys over here are showboating a little bit or doing whatever they do, then it is what it is. If it gets to a point where the guys in one dugout start to get ticked off about the way the guys in the other dugout are acting, well, then they have to take care of business and they have to throw a little chin music or they have to hit someone on the butt to send a message. I don't think that's what was happening yesterday, quite frankly. Maybe a little bit, but again, I don't think it has risen to the level of that quite yet. Obviously the Phillies beat the Padres last year to get to the World Series, but they beat them pretty good. They beat them in 5 games, and it really kind of was a lopsided series. And I don't know that there was a whole lot of bad blood coming into this series. And, Padres took it to them game 1. Phillies took it to them games 2 and 3. We'll see what happens here this afternoon. But I don't know. It doesn't feel like the intensity between the Phillies and the Mets or the Phillies and the Braves or the Phillies and even the Nationals. To me, it just feels like a National League game at the moment.
Where the intensity really, dives deep down in this rivalry is that's what's in, guys. Those 5 or 6 clowns before game 1 of the NLCS last year. Bryce gonna lose, Manny's gonna cruise. That's what's in.
Was that the song that they?
Oh my, dude! Maybe, hopefully, the Sean's back in studio can bring that up for us at some point during the course of this. Sean, you can play it whenever you want. Drop it in at any time.
Please don't.
It's so cringeworthy, but it's hilarious. What goes on. But I'll tell you what, man. Those guys, I don't know what they were thinking. A, they wrote that song. B, they choreographed it. And then C, they decided to present it to the world for all of us to laugh at. The Padres are now 6-2 against the Phillies since that moment in time. But hopefully we can get that played here so you can witness it, you can live it, and we can all laugh at it again. But me, what I'm taking out of yesterday, Murph, is the major league debut of Phillies outfielder, 6th ranked prospect in their system, Johan Rojas. Which, I mean, if you're going to have a welcome to the big leagues moment, you're having it.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think I lost you a little bit there, Zach. But here, let me comment on Johan Rojas. hopefully we get your audio back. But it was a terrific moment for sure. Here's a young guy, kind of unexpected, right? Coming up from AA, making his major league debut, skipping over that AAA step. But what a season he's been having down there for the Reading Fighting Phils. We all know what kind of defense he can play. We see him in spring training. He's all over the field, running all over the place and pulling it in. But offensively, he's been terrific this season as well. And the Phillies, to their credit, when they needed someone to fill that spot for Christian Pache, they reached down into that AA level and bring him up. And, dynamic, I think, is the best way to describe him. When he was asked what he thought he could bring to the table, here at the big league level, his first word was energy. And I think that's terrific because that's exactly what you're looking for from a guy like that. And to your point, what a way to introduce yourself to the Phillies fans. First of all, he got a huge ovation when he was introduced in the pregames when Dan Baker said, making his major league debut, and the place went nuts, which is cool. And then he goes out and makes that play in the first inning, the double play on the second batter of the game, Tatis. And great catch, great throw, great tag by Ellis. And
did he throw that in the air? Was that right to Ellis in the air?
Yes,
I mean, that's like 300 feet.
Yeah, I think it was. I want to say 289 was what they measured it at, so right around there. It was tremendous, and he kind of did it flat-footed too because he hit the wall, he kind of stumbled back off of the wall, and then he got his bearings, and then he saw that Song had Ha-Sung Kim had grounded second at that point and needed to come all the way back, and he kind of just flat-footed it all the way to Ellis in the air. And it was impressive. And to Ellis's credit too, catch and tag. That was not an easy play for him, and he made the play look easy. So yeah, good way to start. And then the game 2, he gets his hits, RBIs, and gets all that stuff out of the way. So that was great to see as well.
Hi, it's Betty from Barbera, plus tax, tags, and $4.49 doc fee while supplies last.
New Jeeps, 25 to 35,000, right? Well, not today. Not at Gary Barbera's #1 Chrysler Land. Talk about great Jeep value. How about a near-new Jeep Grand Cherokee Limited, barely broken in for $15,990, $15,990, and I'm dead serious. At Barbera's all-new Jeeps and Truck Center, over 50 near-new Jeeps and trucks, like this Grand Cherokee Limited original window sticker, $30,000 to $35,000, and your price, $15,990, and you get the full bounce of the new car warranty, new car financing. I'm not kidding. Your near new Grand Cherokee Limited from just $15,990, and don't you pay a penny more somewhere else. Don't you do that. Instant credit, well, you got
hey, Murph,
allowance you
I don't
got.
know if you could hear me over the commercial.
Barbera's all new Jeeps and Truck Center at the Boulevard. You're going to find over 50 near new ready to roll Jeeps and trucks for about half the original price at just one place. Gary Barbera's #1
understand what you're saying. I can hear you, but I can't understand.
Barbera the best? Boy, I guess.
The podcast Big Sugar explores the secretive and immoral multi-billion-dollar sugar industry and its epic legal battle with migrant sugarcane harvesters. It's a 25-year case that exposes the hard truth about how sugar is grown, cultivated, and sold.
3 sole practitioners came together to produce this huge case. If they were right, then these workers were owed tens of millions of dollars in extra wage. We just sort of looked at each other and said, wow.
Listen to Big Sugar on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Have you ever noticed that when the afternoon light hits your floors, you can see everything, including dust?
So much dust.
And that floor dust gets kicked up into the air, compromising the quality of air you and your family breathe.
Eesh.
Swiffer Heavy Duty Sweeper is the fast and easy way to clean your floors with ultra-thick pads that trap and lock dust before it gets in the air. Just a couple minutes a day,
and dust is gone.
Swiffer Heavy Duty Sweeper. Proud partner of the American Lung Association.
We're going abroad for the first time in years, to Spain. So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks.
¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
Hey, man, you all right? Need me to call 911?
No,
Call Top Dog Law. Get top dollar for your accident at topdoglaw.com. Once again, that's topdoglaw.com.
Now, here's this week's iHeartRadio countdown of the top trending songs.
Debuting this week, it's country star Morgan Wallen with his crossover hit Last Night, in at number 5.
Last night we lit the liquor top. I can't remember everything we said, but we said it all.
Miley Cyrus holds steady again as Flowers marks week number 3 in 4th place. After 7 weeks at the top spot, Miguel tumbles back to number 3 this week with Sure Thing. After a week at number 3, Rema and Selena Gomez jump back up 1 with Calm Down.
Baby, calm down, calm down. Yo, this your body, you put in my heart for lockdown, oh lockdown.
And Taylor Swift claims another number 1 for her records as Karma reaches the top, this week's number 1 song.
Karma is my boyfriend. Karma is a god. Karma is the breeze in my hair on the weekend.
And those are your top trending songs of the week. Hear them all on iHeartRadio.
The Gambler. Phillies home for all things sports gambling.
When I think of heaven,
All right, welcome back. Second here on this wet and rainy morning here in the Delaware Valley, right outside Cincinnati Bank Park, Xfinity Live. Chris Sack, Green Legion Radio, Phillies broadcaster Gregg Murphy. Don't hang out alone in the man cave for baseball this season. Try hanging out with cheerleaders with sexy entertainers, $4 domestic beers, Jameson specials, and awesome game day experiences all season long. That's right. Stop in before, during, or after the game, not only to see your favorite entertainers, but also your chance to have the best game day experience. Epic game day experiences are at Cheerleaders Gentlemen's Club, where champions play. Cheerleaders is open daily from noon until 2 a.m. All right, so I want to get your finish up your points about Johan Rojas and his debut yesterday. And then I want to dive into a couple other things, and then we're going to welcome in the Unhappy Gilmore from Green Legion Radio, and we're going to talk with him for about 15 minutes before we go into our final break. So, Murph, please finish up. Let's talk about Johan Rojas last night at the plate. 3 for 4, a run scored, 2 RBI. And then he's still picking it out there in center field. I think that's what we're going to come to expect from him. And, man, can he run? He can cover some space, man. He's a heck of a ball player. Exciting to watch. Very electric.
Yeah, he can fly. There's no doubt about it. And I think that's a big part of his game. You saw that defensively yesterday, covered a lot of ground. You know, when you have Rojas in center and you had Marsh in left field last night, it really, you see what a difference it can make when you have guys that can go cover ground, not to take anything away from Kyle Schwarber out there in left field because, he does what he can do out there, but he is not a defensive left fielder. And you put those two guys out there and, you add Nick in right field, who's been very solid. And all of a sudden, those hits that have been falling in shallow left center field, they're getting gobbled up. And we saw that a couple of times yesterday. So that's what's so intriguing about a good defensive player like Johan Rojas. He's one of the best in any level of baseball. When you stop and look at his metrics and you look at his numbers and defensive runs saved and all of that stuff, he grades out as one of the best in all of baseball, depending no matter what the level he's at. And then look, the offense is going to be a bonus for him, and he has to understand what his game is, right? And his game is speed, hit the ball on the ground, and try to run it out. The Willie Mays Hayes kind of school of hitting, and that's going to be very effective for him. And we saw that yesterday when he did the push bunt that ended up being a base hit for him. So I'm excited to continue to get a chance to watch him play because he is a dynamic kind of kid.
A few quick hits here. Also in regards to the last couple games here. Bryce Harper gets off the schneid, ends his 38-game homeless drought. First home run last night since May 25th. I'm a little disappointed by his teammates, though. I mean, it was the perfect opportunity for them to give him the silent treatment, and they didn't do it.
Some did. Some of them did. It was kind of a mixed bag in terms of the silent treatment. There were a handful of guys who left the dugout and didn't. But then there was a couple that hung around and congratulated him. So.
He's frozen again.
We talked to Bryce on the post night afterwards, and we asked him, "Is there that sense of relief? A monkey off your back? That guy?" And he said, "No, honestly." He said, "I knew that it would happen, and I was really not worrying about it. He has hit a couple of balls that to the track and ball in a couple of the games, and that would have left a different ballpark. That kind. He said, if I'm hitting the ball and I'm barreling it up, hitting line drives, getting my base hits, the rest takes care of itself. And I think that's a pretty good attitude for any hitter to have, but certainly good attitude for Bryce Harper to have. I'm sure he's happy that he got the home run, but he wasn't obsessing with it.
I also think he's, the media pundits don't want to say that he's not going to hit a home run like ever again, or he lost power and all that stuff. Like the guy put on a display in batting practice a couple weeks ago. I think they said he hit 15 home runs. He can hit them. It's just a matter of finding his way, keeping his head in there, and finding the barrel of the ball. A guy that doesn't get discussed enough, Murph, and he doesn't play every day, and he doesn't play that vital of a role on the field because we have the best catcher in baseball in JT Realmuto. But Garrett Stubbs, I mean, what a gamer, what a player that guy is. Every time he plays, he makes an impact one way or another. I mean, he's third in the league in with 6 bunt base hits. He controls the pitching staff. He controls the music in the clubhouse. The guys love his playlist. I mean, Garrett Stubbs doesn't get discussed enough. What kind of role he plays on this team?
Garrett Stubbs is as an important player on this 26-man roster as anybody else. He just simply is. The amount of work that goes in to getting pitchers ready behind the scenes it's never ending. And JT and Garrett together handle that. And, it's along with the coaching staff. And the amount of work that Garrett puts in on a daily basis it's just, he's working as hard as anybody else. You're right. He doesn't get a chance to showcase it out on the field during game time as much. But when he does play, and I've said this many times, that he always does one thing to help a team win a baseball game. And he did it again yesterday. It might be defensively. It might be, the bunt. It might be throwing a runner out at second. Whatever the case may be, he always does something. And sometimes he does more than one thing when he gets his opportunity. Backup catchers in baseball are so important. And when you have a guy like JT Realmuto, who's the best in baseball, you're not going to play a lot, but it doesn't mean that your impact on this team is not great. And for Garrett Stubbs, and the guys love him too. He's a great personality, that kind of thing. But for Garrett Stubbs, what he offers this particular team cannot be measured. It simply can't. He's a huge part of what they're trying to do.
Real quick, before we bring our guest on, the unhappy Gilmore, Adam Gilmore, Green Legion Radio's own. I was getting some backlash off of this yesterday, and I don't think people understand this. And obviously, it didn't wind up hurting the Phillies in the long run. But the play by Trey Turner yesterday, where his body and his momentum are going towards first base, and he tries to throw it behind his back to Edmundo Sosa. You need one out in that instance. And all your momentum and everything is going towards first base, and you're already past second base. If that ball is behind second base or to the shortstop side of second base, yes, you make that play to second because it's the easier play to make. All his momentum and his body and everything is going towards first base. And when the replay was shown later on, the guy was only 2/3 of the way up the baseline. He would have easily had him at first base. That play was unnecessary. I understand his thinking of it and behind it, and maybe in the moment, in the instance, and baseball's a bang game. But I do not see the understanding there of why people are saying that he made the right play when he's throwing the ball behind his back trying to get it out at second base. The right play was going to first base. You agree?
Yeah. Well, I don't have to agree because I asked Trey after the game that very question, and he said he made the wrong play. So for all the folks out there that are saying he made the right play, Trey would disagree with you. He realized after that he should have gone to first. His explanation was pretty simple. It happened quickly, and when he said in his body clock, he felt like by the time that ball hit his glove that he had very little time to go across the diamond and get the runner at first. But he could see out of his peripheral vision that the runner heading to second still had about 7 steps. So for him, in that very quick instance, flipping it behind the back was his best best chance to get an out. In retrospect, when he looked back up and realized he probably should have thrown to first, and then he went back and looked at the tape, and then he confirmed that he had time. His body clock, and that's how these guys work, right? They have an idea of how fast the runner is, and their internal clocks are, I have time, I don't have time kind of thing. And for Trey, his internal clock betrayed him at that very moment, and he thought the only play he had at second. But in retrospect, he said, look, I have to make that play to first, and I get him at first, and we're out of the inning. Ultimately, it didn't come back, or it didn't hurt them in terms of a loss, but it was a big moment in the game early, and good for the Phils to be able to come back and kind of rally from that. And look, the rest of the afternoon for Trey was pretty good. So offensively, he's starting to really swing it, which is great to see. So, baseball's a hard sport. It just is. And sometimes the guys make the wrong decisions, and ultimately they go back and say, could have done that better.
All right, well, at this time, I'd like to welcome in our guest to the show this afternoon, the Unhappy Gilmore, the host of the Unhappy Gilmore Show. Adam Gilmore is joining us from Ohio. Adam, welcome in, buddy.
Thanks for having me, brother. This is I'm sorry it's pouring rain out there. I hope they get the game in today. What a difference 24 hours makes. Just a day ago, I'm standing right out over there, and it's about I'm guessing if we found out the temperature of the surface of the sun and dialed it back a degree or two, that's about what it was. There was sweat dripping down my legs just standing still. But and I had both my boys out there with me. We double dipped stadiums yesterday here at the bank, and then the 7 p.m. game down at Camden Yards, which was absolutely awesome. Been hitting it pretty hard since we got into town.
Yeah, no doubt about it. You guys have been all over the city. First and foremost, I want you to go ahead and promote your show. Let people know where they can find you, what day, what time. And I know there's a segment on your show that you take a lot of pride in. We're not going to announce what it means, but the BOTW. So I want to know. I want you to give us one from your vacation so far. So think of one that comes across your mind on that.
Well, I got to tell you, Trey Turner, when he did botch that play yesterday, because I believe that was Gary Sanchez running.
It was
second.
Gary Sanchez.
So I get the internal. Yeah, I get the internal clock. I mean, the guy, I think he runs at half the speed of smell. So he, I can see where Turner's like, I got all day to flip this. And then the 3-run homer happens, right? So like that, I'm looking at it like, ooh.
Of course, and Ranger's been snake bit by that the last couple 2 out of his last 3 starts. I mean, a couple weeks ago, the grand slam because Marsh didn't get to the ball in the gap. And then yesterday with Trey Turner on that play. But Wednesday nights at 6 p.m.
Wednesday nights, 6 p.m. We do it right from the house.
You drink a lot of water, man.
I drink a lot of
water thing that you have.
Well, I'm not getting any younger. And you got to keep, everything's got to keep flowing. So the water has to happen. I get guys that work for me, and I went out and had 6 or 8 beers last night. I'm like, dude, it's Tuesday. You're 38. Like, that's not going to last much longer, brother. You got to mix. You got to get hydrated. But yeah, lots of water. Some of that's because my throat gets dried out a lot.
Yeah.
And some of it's a little bit of nerves, I guess. But yeah, we try to have a good time. BOTW is something we go in right after kind of opening the show. And that's where I pick out a knucklehead in the sports world, whether it's a player, a commentator.
So many to choose from.
Somebody, and believe me, there is always someone. Like we've done Bob Huggins twice. He's up for like the Lifetime Achievement Award at this point. So we try to have fun with it though. But yeah, Wednesday nights at 6. It's if you follow the Green Legion on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, just log in there, share it everywhere, and come on and have some fun.
Sounds great. And so, Murph, if you didn't know this already, I might have told you a few weeks ago when we had our Mets fan, Mike Powers, when I had him join the program, we're going to have a Yankees fan join the show. Adam's from Connecticut, so he is a diehard Yankee fan, but he's a brutally honest Yankee fan in of that. But the dynamic that I'm looking to, find out today, and as much as I've known Adam over the last couple of years, especially over the last year with our group text thread with Luis Dominguez down there in Miami, I want to understand the dynamic of how did you become a huge Eagles fan?
So my dad was a Cowboys fan. So my dad was Boston everything except for football.
Okay.
So Red Sox, Bruins, Celtics, but then Cowboys.
Wow. Yeah. We have quite a few of those scumbags here in Philadelphia.
Right. And you come from a state that does not have an actual professional team outside of the Whalers for a while, and I still fly some Whalers guard from time to time.
Best logo in sports, by the way.
Oh yeah, no doubt, no doubt about it.
Awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of how that. So and my dad, not exactly the pillar of fatherhood. So to revolt against that a little bit more, we the Yankee thing was always when I was a kid. I tell people my parents got divorced before I was 2 because my mother's a Yankees fan and my dad's a Red Sox fan. So
makes sense. 50% of marriages don't work out. So that falls right into one of them. So Murph, they did yesterday. Him and his 2 boys, Grady and Liam. They went to. So they were here yesterday for the afternoon tilt at 1:00. And the funny thing was the Phillies didn't score in the time frame that they were here at the ballpark. So them leaving actually set the stage for the rest of the day. Thanks for doing that.
No problem.
So they had to cut early because they were going down to Camden Yards last night. And a big topic of conversation that Murph and I have here on the show. We love to talk about ballparks. And Murph gets to travel with the team, and a lot of times we get to talk about the ballpark that he's in that day, the views, and what he thinks his top 10, all that stuff. So Citizens Bank Park, Camden Yards, are they like close to your top 5? Because I think he's approaching 20 himself. Adam is. So where do you what are your thoughts about our glorious ballpark here across the street?
They're both in the top 5, having experienced both of them. And like I told you before the show, I almost wish that I would have rather the Baltimore game was 1 and the Bank was 7, because I think what you see over here, and you hear about it all the time, and you've even said it, is a lot of what you see at the Bank was taken from the blueprint that Camden Yards set out, right? Yes. It broke the mold back in '92 when that kind of style opened up. And so to see the Bank and then Camden Yards is great from the aesthetics, the view and everything. But I do believe the game day experience here is better.
Yeah, the good thing was here yesterday. But yeah, go ahead, Murph.
Well, I mean, obviously I have a little bit of bias to the ballpark here in Philadelphia, but Camden Yards
one times a year. I mean, it's a beautiful thing.
It is. Camden Yards, though, is one of the best in all of baseball in terms of, as you just said, Adam, in terms of the aesthetics, and you walk in there and you feel like old timey baseball, and they did such an amazing job when they built that ballpark back in '92, and when it opened, I was in college at the time, and we would go down there from Philadelphia and go to baseball games, and it was just such an incredible experience. And you're right, Philadelphia and many other ballparks after that took little pieces of what Baltimore did and made it their own as they built their own ballparks. I think Citizens Bank took it to the next level and did just an amazing job. And when the ballpark is full and the crowd is nuts and the team is scoring runs, there is very few ballparks in America that offer you the kind of game day experience that you get here in Philly.
Well, and I had said that to Chris yesterday. That play that's made in the first inning yesterday.
Yeah.
That the sound that comes out of this ballpark, and my boys looked at me and they're like, "Dad, it was a great play, but it's not like they scored a home. Nobody hit a home run or anything." I'm like, guys, I told you it's Philadelphia. It's different.
Yeah. We go nuts over all that stuff, which is great.
We don't win a lot here, championships are concerned. So we have to take it any which way that we can. So as I have said, Adam is a Yankees fan. So right now the Yankees, they got themselves out of last place yesterday because the Red Sox lost and they won, but they're still in that division race. I mean, everybody is crammed up. I think they're all within 8.5 games of each other. But there are some Yankees fans that are growing impatient about their team and are thinking about selling at the trade deadline. What do you think this team should do? Should they buy? Should they sell going into the July 31st trade deadline?
Look, I mean, we could use another outfield bat, right? Especially with Judge going down. It's obvious that Stanton is not going to be consistent enough to carry the offense, even though he can when he gets hot.
But then he pulls a calf.
Yeah, you play him too much, and then his big, his pink. I was going to say big toe, but that's where Judge is.
Yeah, Judge has the big toe,
right? So
maybe you can't get that one to Stanton.
Maybe it's Stanton's pinky toe, whatever, a quad, a hangnail. But in growing frustrated, I mean, I've been frustrated for about 5 years with the way Hal Steinbrenner runs the team. Like him and Cashman. If you want to talk about somebody who should have been fired, it's Brian Cashman who should have been fired, not the hitting coach. Firing the hitting coach on the New York Yankees is the equivalent of rearranging the chairs on the deck of the Titanic. Like, this is not.
I love
not
that
going to
movie.
solve anything. I mean, John can come in and help Anthony Volpe, Oswaldo. Yeah, he can help those guys. Like, resurrect Robertson, who's now going to resurrect Steve and inconsistent. Rizzo, no, who's batting average is up 60 points. I would understand Pat itself. And I can tell you what they're going to tell you. All these people that want us to go out and make a big splash trade, you're not going to get that because Hal and Brian Cashman are going to tell you that the guys who are getting back off IL is the equivalent of making a
Yep.
rinse, repeat.
Always love hearing those ones. And I guess it's good news there, Murph, as once again here on the program, we get the national anthem practice going on. I'm waiting for God Bless America to hit soon. So maybe the skies are clearing up just a little bit here. But before we go to break, and which is a perfect time for us to go to break with them practicing this right now, I would be remiss if I didn't say and point out that our good friend Philip Rivers is expecting child number 10. Murph, I appreciate your input here. What kind of wild man is Philip Rivers to be going down the path of hell with the 10th puck?
Hey, there's nothing better than being a father, right? And if you can afford 10 children, which obviously Philip Rivers can afford 10 kids, I got no problem with that. I love it. Good for him. He's enjoying that part of his life. And hey, look, you know me. I'm live and let live. So if that's what Philip and his wife want to do, 10 kids. Look, if I had boatloads of money like that and didn't have to worry about college and all that kind of thing, line them up. Kids are free.
I mean, the reason why I asked this question is because Adam's here. Adam, go.
Should he really be? I mean, I'm just like another 4 more, and he's going to have his own 7-on-7 in the backyard, right?
There you go. Even better. Why not go to 18 and play? You can have 2 baseball squads. That'd be...
There's one thing for sure. Don't trust Philip Rivers to pull out of your driveway.
Oh.
Got it.
This segment was brought to you by Premier Window Cleaning, the leading window cleaning company in Philadelphia and the surrounding areas. Family owned and operated with 30 years experience. They offer commercial and residential window cleaning, pressure washing, parking garage cleaning, graffiti removal, post-construction cleaning. Every employee is trained, certified, and goes through an extensive background check. At Premier Window Cleaning, your satisfaction level needs to be 100%, as no job is complete until you're happy. With clients like Chop Roberts to the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, you cannot go wrong. For more information and a full list of their services, give them a call at 267-534-5198. That's 267-534-5198. Or go to their website, wehatedirtywindows.com. That's wehatedirtywindows.com. Coming up on the other side, we are going to do our Sunday picks. Somebody did great last week, while the other one took a bump. Right here on 102.5 Fox Sports The Gambler. This is Bud Light Baseball Brunch, brought to you by Cheerleaders Gentlemen's Club. We'll be right back after this.
Have you ever noticed that when the afternoon light hits your floors, you can see everything, including dust?
So much dust.
And that floor dust gets kicked up into the air, compromising the quality of air you and your family breathe. Swiffer Heavy Duty Sweeper is the fast and easy way to clean your floors with ultra-thick pads that trap and lock dust before it gets in the air. Just a couple minutes a day.
And dust is gone.
Swiffer Heavy Duty Sweeper. Proud partner of the American Lung Association.
In today's Marketers Report, Kate Cronin, Chief Brand Officer of Moderna, weighs in on the speed of audio production.
In this day and age, and particularly at Moderna, where we have new information coming out on a regular basis, being able to feed that information to the audio format makes being nimble and pivoting easy, and that's what I really like about it.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia gives marketers access to the audiences, influencers, insights, and data you need to grow. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartResults.com.
Savor summer with sunshine, happiness, and Rita's new Peach Ring Ice. Enjoy this sweet, tangy flavor in a peach ring gelati or frozen drink with real gummy peach rings on top. And to help you stay cool, we're giving new app users a free ice when they download and use offer code PEACH. So commit to happiness and put a peach ring on it at Rita's today. Offer ends August 6th.
Be cool, go to Rita's. Be cool, Rita's.
If you're suffering and there's a safe, natural, easy-to-use solution to help make you feel better, wouldn't you at least want to try it? That's why millions of people use Navage nasal care to help relieve their symptoms of sinus congestion, allergies, snoring, and other nasal-related problems. I'm Martin Hoke, and I invented Navage to make cleaning your nose easy. Navage uses powered suction to pull saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril, helping flush out everything that makes you miserable. Nearly 4 million people use Navage to breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier. People like Candace, a verified Navage user who writes, "This is the greatest invention ever made. I truly can't believe the difference and the relief it has made in my sinus problems. Thank you," unquote. Navage is the safe, drug-free solution you've been looking for. Available at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Rite Aid, Target, and Navage.com. Navage, Navage, clean nose, healthy life.
When you can find everything you need at prices you can afford, that's totally Target. It's that feeling when quality good and gather ingredients on the barbecue bring family around the table. Or when favorite day after practice snacks let you celebrate the whole team for less. It's when saving more on Up and Up sunscreen means more fun in the sun. And when Target Circle Rewards program gives you more perks on what you buy most and is always free to join, that's totally Target.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. So you ordered a new air filter for your car. You try to install it, but it doesn't fit. So you take a little bit off the sides. What, still doesn't fit? Well, you could try to sit on it. Or get it right the first time with eBay Guaranteed Fit. When you see the check, you know that part's going to fit. Air filters, brakes, headlights, over 122 million parts. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors, let's ride. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Joe Buck and John Smoltz welcoming you back to the City Center Convenience Mart.
Uh-oh.
She's looking at the cigarettes, but she just grabs the gum off the counter. Stand Up to Cancer and Rally want you to reduce your risk for cancer. Go to takeahealthystand.org.
Now, here's this week's iHeartRadio countdown of the top trending songs.
Staying in the same spot he debuted last week, Morgan Wallen's crossover hit Last Night is in at number 5.
Last night we let the liquor talk. I can't remember everything we said, but we said it all.
Miley Cyrus just will not let go of the 4th spot. Flowers hold steady again for another week. Miguel, who will be performing at our iHeartRadio Music Festival in Vegas in September, remains at number 3 this week with Sure Thing. Refusing to let go of top 2 status, Rima and Selena Gomez hang tough another week in the 2 spot with Calm Down.
Baby, calm down, calm down. Yo, this your body, it puts in my heart for lockdown, for lockdown, for lockdown.
And while her song Cruel Summer may join the top 5 soon, Taylor Swift is on top with Karma, once again your number 1 song.
Karma is my boyfriend. Karma is a god. Karma is the breeze in my hair on the weekend.
And those are your top trending songs of the week. Hear them all on iHeartRadio.
Spreads, totals, and all the prop bets in between. It's The Gambler.
Final segment here, Sunday morning, Bud Light Baseball Brunch, brought to you by Cheerleaders Gentlemen's Club, 102.5 Fox Sports The Gambler in Philadelphia, brought to you by the Ludlam Hotel in Sea Isle City. Yes, the old La Costa at 4000 Landis Avenue in Sea Isle City. Make sure you guys go check them out, ludlamhotel.com. That's Ludlam, Ludlam, hotel.com, or call them at 609-263-7829. That's 609-263-7829. For all your reservation, dining, or entertainment questions, the Ludlam Hotel, your new oasis in Sea Isle City. Or, hey, we're getting closer to football season. Training camp starts in 9 days. greenlegion.com. We are the best at trips. 21 years experience. Head to greenlegion.com to get signed up for Tampa, LA, Kansas City, Dallas, and Seattle. Or get signed up for the day trip games for the Jets, the Giants, or the Commodes. You call the office at 215-666-5940. That's 215-666-5940. 21 years and counting for the best Eagles road trips around. All right, Murph, let's award these tickets. Saturday, September 9th, Phillies, Marlins, 6:05. Start time. Give us the rest of your top 5.
All right. So we talked about having to kind of know when I was in that high school range. So 86 to 89 was my high school. It was my high school range. So if you hit into that range, then maybe you're a winner on my list. I already gave you In Excess.
I was
Need You
born in
Tonight.
86.
What's that?
I was born in 86.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. I was already doing great things. I mean, come on, catch up. Let's go. All right, next up for me, as I put my reading glasses on because I'm old. Next up, Steve Winwood, Higher Love. Great tune. Every time I hear that, that brings me right back to the Holy Cross days.
Brings you back to your high school Mac Daddy days.
That's right. They weren't very Mac, but whatever. Guns N' Roses, Sweet Child of Mine, which is one of my all-time favorite songs anyway.
There you go.
But that was, they were in their heyday at that point, and so that makes the list. Bon Jovi, again, they were crushing it left and right. Living on a Prayer, I put Bon Jovi, Living on a Prayer, and then I had to go one sappy, hair band love song because that was all the rage back then too. So I went with Poison, Every Rose Has Its Thorn. Yeah, that one hits me right.
Yeah, we always had that like those kind of songs. You went in, you had to be in your feels in your high school years. I mean, that was like because you were always longing for that love, and some of us didn't get it until college. Some of us didn't get it after college. It's just so you might as well. But I'm actually looking forward to your reaction to some of the songs that are on the list because there ain't no chance in hell that you're gonna pick one of these songs. But hey, let's figure it out. Let's get rolling. Great song.
Okay.
Ocean Avenue by Yellow Card. Someone's trying to tap into my feels.
Yep.
My Friends Over You by Newfound Glory. Party Rock Anthem, LMFAO. Love that jam. Another one, Bites the Dust by Queen. The Taste of Ink by The Used. Intergalactic by the Beastie Boys. Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen. Somewhere on Fullerton, Alistair. Oasis, Champagne Supernova. or Holiday Inn by Chingy.
Wow. Yeah.
I know you can pick the last one, so let's cut the crap.
Yeah, no, I'm not because I never heard of it. So I guess if I'm picking anything off
Holiday Inn, no,
yeah,
you got the wrong Beastie Boys tune too.
If I had to pick something off that list, I'd pick either one of the Queen songs because that's my era. But so I'm going Bohemian Rhapsody. But I'll let you youngins figure out the winner of this one.
Oh yeah. Also, TLC Waterfalls. I'm sorry, I'm looking at that on the board right now. But I don't think you were voting for them anyway.
Nope, I wasn't.
Yeah, no, you weren't. I love it. Bohemian Rhapsody is the best song, hands down, on the list.
Yeah.
Now, other ones are great for my time frame and my genre and my era, but I'll go Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen.
And keep in mind, Bohemian Rhapsody, Wayne's World, they're in the car jamming to it, right? I mean,
there you go.
That's the whole theme.
The best part about the movie's Tia Carrere.
No, yeah, there's no doubt.
Gotta love
All
Tia
right.
Carrere. Look up who the winner is and let me know. Congratulations, whoever took Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen. All right, Murph, last week you took the big fat 0. 0-3 last week. You're getting really big for your britches. You had the bravado. You were half point behind me in the standings, and you took the big L last week. While me, on the other hand, 3-0, 4-point week, going into the All-Star break. I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, like, listen, not all of us can be great at this thing, but I'm just gonna have to put it out there that right now you're at 19-17, 23.5 points. I am now 22-14 with 28 points. So let's see if you can make up some ground there, partner. What do you got for me?
I can make up ground because we still got 3 months to go. So that's what you fail to recognize. It's a marathon, not a sprint. So I 0-3 week. Yeah, it happens. I'm cool with that. So now I got to get back on it. So I gave exactly 35 seconds amount of thought to my 3 picks today because last week
go 3-0.
Yeah, because last week I put like time in trying to make, and I go 0-3. So here we go. I am just throwing it up against the wall this week. First up, I'll take my favorite, and why not? There's no shot that the Atlanta Braves lose today to the Chicago White Sox. They're a -178. They lost last night. I think they bounce back and win the game. I hate saying it, but the Braves are the best team in baseball right now. So they beat the White Sox. They're my favorite. I'm taking that.
Steve Sutter is the one that said Bohemian Rhapsody for Queen, by the way. So congratulations, Steve.
Congrats, Steve.
I looked at the Braves, too, because they were under -200, and I was like, I can't do it because I want us to make up ground. But I'm going to go with the Rangers, -135 at home versus Cleveland to sweep the series. Martin Perez is on the hill today for the Rangers. I'm going to take the Rangers to take down Cleveland as my favorite. Give me your underdog.
All right, my underdog is, again, this one was a little bit of a head scratcher. I saw it, so I said, all right, I'm taking it. The Brewers are underdogs to Cincinnati today. I know Cincinnati's played well, but I don't believe in Cincinnati, and I think the Brewers are a pretty good team. The Brewers have already won the first 2 games of that series. I think they end up sweeping the Reds out. It's a battle for the top spot in the NL Central, so they're plus 110. I'm taking the Brewers as my underdog.
See, that's my over-under this week. I have over 11 in Cincinnati. The Reds have been shut out 3 consecutive games. Adrian Hauser and Ben Lively are starting against each other, and they're both having decent years. There's no shot. Why is that? That 11 is Coors Field. It's not. Yeah. It's right. I mean, it's not All-American ballpark. A great All-American ballpark. I just can't see it. I'm going over 11 in that game. Give me your
going over. You're taking the over?
I'm going over 11. Absolutely.
Okay.
There's no way. I mean, that's screaming take under 11. They've been shut out 3 consecutive games. You would think. I'm going over 11.
All right. For me, over this week, Washington and St. Louis. The number is 9. These are 2 bad teams. Getaway day. There's probably not a whole lot to play for, not a whole lot of energy out there. I'm going under 9. And here's God Bless America for you as well. So I'm going under 9, Washington and St. Louis today. I believe that game's in St. Louis.
Okay, my underdog for this week is going to be the Pittsburgh Pirates, plus 120 at home versus the Giants to avoid the sweep. Just a hunt. The Giants are good, but I don't think they're that good as far as going into Pittsburgh and taking 3. So, can you believe it?
To the
Wild things, RBI hit. Can you believe it?
Can you believe it? 2 things we found interesting from this past week in Major League Baseball. Obviously, only a few days worth of games since the last time we were together, but you can piggyback off of the Major League Baseball draft or the All-Star game, which is what I'm doing today. So, Murph, give me your first Can You Believe It for today.
All right, Masataka Yoshida of the Red Sox. The Red Sox have been playing pretty good baseball of late. I'm sure Adam knows that. He has 8 straight. He had 8 straight games with at least 2 hits, and that was the longest streak for a left-handed Red Sox hitter since Ted Williams did it back in 1940. So he's been swinging the bat well. Anytime you get matched up with Ted Williams, that's worth mentioning. So good stuff.
The National League won the All-Star game for only the 3rd time since 1996, which is the last time that the All-Star game was in Philadelphia. 2010, 2012, and now this one. And 2 of the last 3 managers to do it are Phillies managers, Charlie Manuel in 2010 and Topper this year. But the last time they won the All-Star game in 2012, Bryce Harper and Mike Trout appeared in their first All-Star games. Derek Jeter led the league in hits at age 38. There was 3 perfect games that year. Philip Humber, Matt Cain, and Felix Hernandez, who was the last one to do it prior to the last one that just happened a couple weeks ago. Gio Gonzalez led the league in wins with 21, and Carlos Correa went number 1 overall in the Major League Baseball draft.
Good stuff. All right. Here's my second one. The Brewers, Milwaukee Brewers, are the first team in Major League Baseball history to record those 3 straight shutouts while striking out at least 12 batters in each game as well. So that's pretty impressive. The part about this that it's amazing that's the first time it's ever happened in baseball history. Anytime that something happens that has never happened before in this game that's been around for 140 years or whatever or longer, it's amazing to me. So there you go. The Brewers doing that.
Right there with you. Speaking of the Brewers, did you know that not a single one of the Brewers' past 25 first-round picks has played a full season in the majors for the Brewers? 25. Wow. And that's not including this year's or last year's picks. 25. Crazy to think. All right, Murph, we got another big week ahead for the Phillies. Trying to wrap up the series today and take the series against the San Diego Padres. Day off tomorrow, and we have 3 against the Brewers here at home before we go to Cleveland for a 3-game set. Quick 3-game set. Another one of those where we're just jumping out for 3 games and we're coming back. But, hey, man, continue to make up ground. Continue to try and get into that wild card race even further. Because right now it's looking like a 5-team race for those 3 wild card spots. Because, if you're not included, 6 if you want to include the NL Central teams, but one's going to win the division, one's going to be in that race. But everybody, 5 teams are within 1 game right now, or a game and a half of those 3 wild card spots, and then the Padres 7.5 back. Big week ahead for the Fighting Phils.
No doubt about it. I mean, this is a big game here today. Hopefully we get this game in between the raindrops. But, winning this series against the Padres, especially after losing the first game, is just, I think, just a real statement. This is a good Padres team. I know they're not playing well, but they're a good team. Their lineup is good. They have some good pitching. I think pitching has been most of their problem, but they have some good pitching. I think winning 3 out of 4 in this series out of the All-Star break is a really positive statement. And then you get the day off, and then a good Guardians team coming in here. A good Milwaukee team coming in here, and then you go play a good Guardians team. So, yeah, it is a big week, but we say this all the time on Sundays. First things first, win today, right? Win today, finish up this series, take 3 or 4 from the Padres. I think you feel pretty good about yourself.
It's been a few Sundays since we've had a W, partner. I think we need to add on.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah.
We haven't had one since the Mets game where they came back in the 8th inning. So let's get a W today. Partner, appreciate you joining us today from across the street. Looking forward to seeing you live from Cleveland. You'll be there at Progressive Field next Sunday, and then we'll reconvene here in a couple weeks over here at Xfinity. Adam Gilmore, appreciate you joining the program, man. Enjoy the rest of your vacation and time here in Philadelphia.
Thanks, brother. Thanks for having me on. Good times.
Thanks, Adam.
And for Slash joining me here at Xfinity Live, and the 2 Sean's back in studio holding down the fort. This is Chris Sack at Green Legion Radio. And like a 3-1 pitch to Ryan Howard, we are out of here. Let's go Phillies. Take down the Padres, those bunch of hot dogs.
The podcast Big Sugar